Hello, everyone. First off, like I do every stream moving forward, I'm trying to remember to do so. I would like to say thank you to everyone who's moderating the chats. Everybody, we are here to have a good time. Just be respectful and kind to one another, and have a good time. It's good time. It's fun. Also, thank you to all of my patrons. Thank you, Spooky Bays and channel members. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to you in the live stream right here now, and thank you to all of you who are watching it on the replay. You are greatly appreciated. All right. What are we here with today, Audra? No, I literally, I just filmed, so I'm still kind of in that, film mode.
You're in filming mode. You're like, bang, do the thing. I don't know why.
Yeah, finger bang, finger gun.
But it's like, thing, and you're just, smashing him. So, yes.
Right? I'm sorry, everybody. I'll calm my ass down. I promise.
I don't know if we need to even apologize. Just we're here tonight. We're making our way through this month. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's 2020 for real. And I did want to say right quick that there is a 30-second slow chat. I started doing that to make it easier for all of the mods so that they do not have to work so dang hard to keep up if the chat gets a little
yes.
So
it can get a little stressful even if it feels chill as a mod. So yeah, and just trying to make the spaces easy to be a part of as possible. And thank you for the wig compliments. Another one of my favorites.
Emily's looking freaking
doing
gorgeous.
The purple and blue look today.
Just doing all the dingle things.
I also didn't actually say hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're having a good Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday because
I said that earlier when I came in here.
I'm literally drinking coffee at 8 p.m. at night, so that's how my day has been going, and my week, and my month, and my year.
Oh, we got Deja in the chat. We got Superbad and Mary and Allie. I do believe I saw some folks who were here for the first time, so welcome to y'all. What we're going to be doing today is I'm first going to introduce you to Emily. I don't know which way to put. I think this is the way that my hands are supposed to go. I'm going to introduce you to Emily.
I never know.
Hanhan. Their information is below in the description box if you'd like to check out their channel, subscribe, see how she's doing. And today, what we're going to be talking about is beauty and makeup trends that we would like to see stay in 2020. I don't want it coming with us, and some of it's been here, and I just want it to leave. And thank you, Moon Maid. Thank you very much.
I love that name as well.
I know.
Also, Thord is my mood personified. It cannot be only Tuesday. This week has been 20 years long. Yes, I would have to agree with that. Also, I wanted to say some of these things, at least probably I have no idea. I'm not even going to call them trends. They're just things in the beauty industry and beauty world for me. Because I'm I don't even care if they're trendy. They're here enough that I don't want them anymore.
Good catch, Liz. Look, I didn't even think about that. My eyes match your hair.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, we both did a purpley. I have purpley blue eyeshadow on, which I'm not going to be able to get close enough to really show it off. Yeah. And some blue lipstick. Can I start with one that I know green
right now?
Purple and green and purple are my top two colors. Green is first, but then purple. When we were watching your video yesterday, makeup that makes you feel pretty, I realized I'm purple, green is my bad bitch color. Purple would still probably be my I want to look pretty color, and I think it's because of the pinky tones that are usually in purple. It just, I don't know, it does something for me. So
it does. You're
yeah,
I'm so cute.
But yeah, can we agree? Or I think we have one that I know we both have talked about. Can we start there? Because I don't know if I have any other ideas right away, but I know this one.
No, go ahead.
And that is the supersized eyeshadow pans, the 37 millimeter, what JD Glow uses, what Juvia's Place uses, especially for single eyeshadows, but honestly, even in palettes. We all like most of us that are buying makeup these days have a lot of makeup in our collection. I
Yes.
don't need a supersized pan of eyeshadow. And I don't
Yeah.
want it as a single eyeshadow bitch. Like I like a bit of regularity, and that I literally repan those shadows. Like I will put them in smaller pans because it
Yeah.
just makes life easier. So
Because
yes.
Gimme Glow was doing that as well. And here's the thing
Yeah.
about those is like you have your magnetic palettes, and the reason I don't like those huge ass ones is because it just like ruins the aesthetic of your entire big palette. Like you'll have all these like
Yes.
beautifully shaped, like even the square ones, you're like, okay, like they're like still small, you know what I mean? You have this
Square
like
ones
whole
will still like fit. Like they're the same
yeah.
size, same shape.
But then
Yeah.
those
But
big
the
ass
big ones,
ones,
you're
it's
right,
like
they like ruin the vibe.
yeah, and I'm like shoving it and I'm just like kind of maneuvering, and then it just irritates me because like a little bit of like my ADHD that wants things to be in like an order, because if you like my big magnetic palettes are actually arranged by brand, right? The annoyance I have, I think it's this one that I cannot fit this one shadow. Like I can't fit this one shadow with the rest of it. Irritates the ever loving shit out of me. Makes me so mad.
Yeah.
But I can't put it somewhere else because I have this hoe bag arranged by brand and I want all the brands to stay together because like that makes me feel good about life. Okay.
And I like arranging by color, but even and then sometimes I'll pick up little palettes like this. This is from Juvia,
Hmm.
one of their empty palettes. But like, okay, imagine how pretty this would be with like all galaxy shadows from JD Glow. But if you have these big
Yeah.
pans, you can't do that. Whereas like it makes so much more sense. I do find big pans just to feel clunkier. And I do think that I think that there's this thing with makeup brands, like because I know, okay, for example, when I see blush palettes released, and I'm like, why wouldn't you just can I just get a compact like one or a duo pan or something? But for a lot of brands, if they're charging, going back to singles, if they're charging $8 for a big pan, the price might not drop much at all, or at all to go to a smaller pan.
Yeah.
So I think brands feel scared to change. And if they've bought a pressing machine that only presses in large, but like
Yeah.
it's when the brands start saying, we can't press them in smaller pans, cough, cough, give me glow. When I'm like, I've literally repressed them myself into smaller pans. So you can, you just don't have the machinery or you don't want to. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of annoyed by that.
Yeah, Thorne brought up another good point as well. I don't mind a big pan for some shades, but I mean, I could use this as blush shades only. Like, yeah, that's the thing. I just don't like them being like super duper huge. It's not my thing. And for those of you who are just listening, Super Bad had said earlier the big pan size for eyeshadow trips my brain out because I've always thought that big pans are for highlighters and cheek products. And I think that's the other thing too, is when you look at those being sized so large, when you're trying to like make a eyeshadow palette and cat butt, when you're trying to create an
Yeah,
eyeshadow
sorry about
palette,
that.
and then you have these like big ones, it's so large, and you're just like, why can't we just like make them all small? Because I think a concern that I have too is that it's gonna go bad before I ever get to use it, and it's so much product, and I'm like, why?
And for me, making small palettes, like the little 9 pan palette, like having like 9 pan, 6 pan palettes, 12 pans, like making palettes is how I oftentimes get more use out of my singles. So that
Mhm.
is like, 'cause a lot of people will ask, like, well, why do you repan? Why do you go through the bother? Besides the fact that my brain just visually appreciates it more, I also use them more because all of the pans are close in size. I can pull together a palette. I find it more visually appealing. I want to reach for it more. So, like, it's a way for me to use the product more than I would have otherwise.
Yeah.
But I just would rather not have to do all that. I would rather they just be good to
Just
go.
be what I want you to be. Speaking of size,
Exactly.
another like thing that I would like to leave behind in 2020 is these huge ass eyeshadow palettes. And I'm talking
Yes,
like
somebody else said
I
that in the
honestly
chat
feel like
earlier.
anything more to me, honestly, anything more than 9 starts to get excessive. That's just me. But I feel like if what let's just stop at 15. Is like that's going to be our max level of like just stop at
15 is
because I feel like more often than not you're going to end up with two like similar shades in the same pan. And then like I think it was Abby and or Hannah were both talking about like who's buying these, like they'll send them out as like gift sets. And I think it was Abby, and Abby was talking about like, yeah, that's something that you bought when you were first getting into makeup and you wanted all the colors, and then you were just like, I can't even use this and it's confusing. I don't feel like anyone needs like a 52 shade eyeshadow palette. Like I don't feel like anyone needs or wants it. And I think even pros at this point are able to like cultivate and create the palettes that they need to take with them, like pro status, pro style. So I just don't feel like you need all that.
Anyone that ever said that pros are buying these palettes, I mean, I would call them a liar, because they're big and bulky. That's not how like some pros do travel that way, but like a lot of pros don't. A lot of pros tear the palettes apart and create singles, like so that they can take what they need. And I think my complaint with the bigger palettes is that there's duplicates. If you released a 30 pan palette and it was all unique shades, I probably still wouldn't want it, but at least it's not duplicates. But so often these big palettes are like, oh, there's at least 3 shades of brown that could have been one. There's 2 shades of beige. There's 2 oranges that look exactly the same. They're going to look the same on the eyes. Like that's also for me part of the annoyance with the oversized palettes, is that they're not even special. They're just very redundant.
Yeah, because they're like, this is orange, and then this is like deeper orange, and you're like, but they look the same on my eye. Yeah, I feel like we've been saying this for years, and especially the more that I played with my palettes and then also played with singles, I began to realize that any palette that I had, honestly, over 9, it starts to get on my nerves. Like I'm kind of like, ugh, do we have to have this many? Like, ugh. Because I always feel like there's 2 or 3 shades that I'm just not interested in at all. Like this shade can I just don't want to mess with it. So it's like, for me to have, picked up 1 or 2 of the palettes I picked up this year was intense. And so I was like, ugh. But I did.
Daisy put it really well. I'd rather have a ton of appetizers to taste than one big meal.
Yeah,
I would rather have 5 9-pan palettes than one 30-pan palette or one 50-pan palette or one, like I would rather have, because I also do just find them less overwhelming and more intuitive, like playing with for me.
Yeah, especially for folks who are trying to get into color too, because when you're trying to get into color, buying a color palette can seem overwhelming. Like you buy this palette and it's got 36 shades in it. And I'm going to like date myself in makeup, but way back in the day when those Morphe ridiculous palettes was like everybody's thing.
Or the like or Coastal Scents 88 pan palettes, like all of those. Like way back.
And I had one. I had the Morphe one. I had such difficulties. I can't remember, like it's like 35S, something like that. It had purples in it. And the thing was, I just remember being overwhelmed trying to figure out like how to do color, because there was so much in there. And they weren't even necessarily in a good quad situation where the quads would go together to where you could kind of figure that out. So it was very much like you were fighting yourself, and then you're just like, never mind, I'll just be a basic bitch. And like, that's what I would just do. Again, nothing wrong with being a basic bitch, but I always wanted to be able to play with color like I do now. But then I would just get overwhelmed by these large ass palettes.
Yeah, and I agree. Like the Kaleido 6 pans, like a lot of the 9 pans, 8 pan, like 12, it's about as big, like I think, as I generally like. But even with 12 pans, a lot of the ones that I like are, this is not really this, but like Lethal doing a 12 pan bundle with a palette, or the Adept Plain Jane, which I think is 12 pans, but it's also magnetic. And like that's one of the, and Kaleidos, even their 6 pans are magnetic. And that's like, I want to leave glued in eyeshadow pans in the
Yes.
past, like in 2020. Like
Yes.
I want everything to be customizable, because guess what? If every palette is magnetic, meaning like you can take the pans out and rearrange them, not meaning it's magnetic when you close it,
Yeah.
then people that don't want to fuck with their palettes ever don't ever have to. But
Yes.
motherfuckers like me and you that are makeup destroyers is what I call it. Like we can pull it apart and still use it and put it back together, or add in other shades, take out the redundant ones. Like that's what I want to see in 2021. It's like, give me more palettes that I can change around and use as singles, and everyone
For
can use
sure.
however they want.
For sure, because like I would like to see essentially what you're saying, single use palettes go out and leave that back in 2020, because I feel
Yes.
like we're now at a stage where more and more brands are in fact creating like the singles to put back into some of their stuff. So I'm just like, okay, so let's just stop making these palettes that I can't take anything. Because here's the thing, I have all these palettes over here that I've decluttered, but I've been wanting to practice depotting on.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We shouldn't have to like go through a whole ass process to get the shit out. You know what I mean? Like it should literally just be me like going bloop and popping it out and like moving on with my day. But right now it's like you have to fucking do science. You have to do science to make it happen. You're over here like, okay, first you got to heat it. You got to like put it in this pan. You got to put some foil down and like heat it up. And then you got to do that. So it's pretty intense. And I like the Kaleidos ones as well, like the size wise. But yeah, I feel like we need to get, because like, I'm never gonna stop bringing this out because I love it, and like I'm so in love with it. I'm so in love with you. Okay, but like this is such a cute ass compact, right? It's the Marc Jacobs. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you again, Sarah. Anyway, this is a cute ass compact. I want to use this for the rest of my natural life, and I really hope that like the thing in here that is replaceable. And if it's not, I'm going to be super pissed, because like I'm even keeping this because look, it's also got cherries on. Okay, I'm done. But anyway, I
love it.
I just don't want it to be a whole like thing. Yes. I do like, yes, thank you. Instead of Build-A-Bear, like make makeup for adults. And I want
this
to
is why
build a
I
palette.
love lethal build a palette function. I just want them, I've said this 50,000 times and I will keep saying, I want them to keep stepping up their shimmer game, because I really love their mattes. Their newer shimmers are getting better, but like they're still not my ultimate brand for everything.
Yeah.
But I do love their build a palette function. And I think, hey JD, I think Legal and Lipstick has a good point. Sometimes I think brands are purposefully not doing magnetic palettes to keep our creativity down. They don't want us mixing their shades with other brands. I do agree.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of territorialism in like makeup. And it's like when I see brands doing very specific palette, like the pan size, like being very specific, or just like slight things where you're like, okay, I see you're purposely making it harder for me to customize my makeup. But guess what? That's only hurting you, because I'm not going to buy from you, because it deters my creativity and my desire to use your makeup. So,
well, on
yeah,
top of that, Lauren May Beauty and also Abby have been proving that it doesn't matter, because they can just Photoshop the palette that they want. So it's like,
oh yeah,
stop, because like they showed palettes where I was like, this is way better.
Yeah, no, that's been around for a while, and I agree. Like, but I think the thing is Photoshop is different from actually being able to use it and using it on picking up a palette on camera and being like, because even sometimes when I build my curated palettes and I'm like, wow, I have like 7 different brands in here. For some people, that's also overwhelming, because they're like, oh, you're talking about this makeup you're using, but like I'd have to put in 7 different orders to like get that. And so for like YouTube purposes, also I can see why brands are like, no, we want you to just keep our stuff whole.
Yeah, because like even when I put my look in the description box, a lot of times what I've started doing with my eyes is just linking the brand website, because like, listen, I'm going to tell you, one of my biggest failings as a beauty creator is I don't give a shit about shade names. Like, I don't care. I am the person who doesn't care. I don't care. I like the colors. I like to play with them. And then the second somebody is like, what shade is that? I'm like, Divina? No, but what shade from Divina? I'm like, Sheed Divina. From Divina. Like, I don't.
Sometimes I can better remember like something like Divina, like their group, their shade group, where I'm like, it's a Candy Cakes, or like it's a Galaxy Dust. Like, I don't remember the name, but I remember like the group it's from. Yeah.
They should. Like, I mean, I really feel like if brands started to do, because like that's one of the things that I love about singles, right? My favorite thing about singles is I can mix and match, move everything around the way that I want it. If I want to make a palette, like if I'm going on a trip, not in this parabola, but if I'm going on a trip, I would love to be able to just kind of mix and match and make my palette like I do now with my singles. Like when, as Tony likes to say, the hellmouth closes. I like the idea that I could just like take some of my favorite singles and my favorite, mattes along with me, all my favorite singles and shimmers, and be like, on my vacation with my $600.
What I do.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I keep grabbing for like, I will never let that go.
Amber, what shade is that, Audra? Yeah. The shade is called Caca.
But like, okay, so like this is a palette full of highlighters and blushes, most of which I've depotted. But this is the kind of thing I would travel with. I would either fill this with like 2 blushes, 2 highlighters, and a selection of eyeshadows. Or if I was extra, this would be all blushes, highlighters, and then I'd have another palette probably the same size. Did you say
if you were extra?
Yeah. Meaning like if I was going for like a week. If I'm going for a weekend, I could make it work with like this. If I'm going for like more than 2 days, I'd be like, okay, I need all of the things. But also it's still so much easier to pack than like a bunch of palettes or a bunch of like bullshit, single compact like blushes. Like, no, like four blushes in here is half the palette, whereas 4 blushes is basically almost the size of the whole palette.
Thank you, chat. Thank you for agreeing, because Emily is over here acting like, well, if I was extra, like, no, if I was staying longer.
I can't even imagine traveling right now. So, give me a break.
Even if you were traveling, you are extra. It wouldn't matter if you were staying for 1 week or 2 weeks. You would have all of the things. Like,
I said a week versus a weekend. I said a week versus a weekend.
A week versus
Once
a
we
weekend.
pass 3 days, I would definitely have more than 2 blushes and 2 highlighters. Just clarifying. Just clarifying. Hey, Eeyore, fuck you. Except I'm
just trying to tell you right now that if I go away on a weekend, thank you, exactly. I go away on a weekend, I've got at least 1 palette that's full of mattes. I have so much shit. It's like, and I try to like be like, but I'm not economical. I don't care. It's not gonna matter. Ooh. So
I also don't have a car, so like being on the subway or on a train or whatever with a bunch of shit gets heavy. Okay, that's all.
Listen, remember how I had to admit I'm bougie? You have to just admit that you're extra and let it go.
Day says, me finding out y'all will travel with custom palettes. I didn't know that was a thing people could do safely. I mean, it depends. It depends on how you travel. I will say, like, but what I would probably recommend if you're traveling with a custom palette is to put like some tissue paper or a piece of foam between the shadows and the mirror.
Keep those little things. The shipping
one not
things.
As much,
that if you get bubble wrap and all of that from shipping,
the little
keep them
foam,
and use them to travel.
The thin flexible foam that they send. Yeah, I would put something, because there's usually a little bit of a lip, a space between where the pan ends and the top of the thing. So if you do that, and even rubber band it closed so it stays closed. That'll help because if you don't, sometimes they will jostle around and break. So yes, I'm extra. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Just describing that, I was like, yeah.
Right there. Look at you. Mine is I actually save all of my packing materials from everything people send me, and I will actually wrap my palettes in bubble wrap. So do it that way.
It's the inside, because I've had things break, and it's not the outside. The outside was super cushioned. It was the space inside. So
yeah.
Wait, what else do we want to leave behind in 2020 in terms of makeup?
I would like to leave behind culturally appropriating anything and using it for makeup, because we've had like the foxy eye trend or the fox eye trend. We had color pop. Like we really, yes, exactly, Zebra. No traveling, but
yes,
we
exactly.
really need to move away from this whole idea that we can like steal culture and just like not do anything about it. I feel like people's culture is not a costume. It doesn't matter what culture it is. I don't care. It could be Inuit. It could be people from Switzerland. It could be people from the mountains. Like we just need to stop using other people's culture and trying to make it into makeup. We really do have to like be more cognizant of the fact that very many people, the very things that we're currently trying to like make trendy are also things that people were made fun of their entire lives until it became a trend. And then like, now it's trendy. And then people are looking at people being like, oh my God, I wish I had eyes like you. And you're like, wait, hold, please hold. So I think that we just need to get, and I'm not saying everybody needs to be woke and everybody needs to like be I'm just saying, just try not to wear other people's cultures as makeup, as a costume. That's all.
And it's not even, I think the thing is I think a lot of people almost see it, they like, it is stealing people's cultures. People see it as borrowing and they see it as like honoring. It's like, no, it is stealing. You're not in a library. You can't check that out, read it, and then return it, and there's no damage done. Like, you are taking the time to, and Alexa says, related to that, we need to celebrate the cultures that originate the cool stuff. Exactly.
Yes.
Rather than hype up a white beauty creator that has 1 million subscribers doing some bullshit. Like, I'm literally just pulling this out of my head. Honestly, like wearing a headdress at fucking Coachella. Why don't we research and celebrate native cultures? There's like, and native cultures in the United States is that's a small phrase for a big population with lots of different tribes. Like I don't even have of course I don't have all the knowledge about that, but it's like rather than celebrate the fox eyes, like actually celebrate cultures throughout Asia. Like, and and
here's the thing, if you're going to try to do that, perhaps have the models and the people of that culture be a part of the marketing and be a part of the brand. Like maybe you just do that. Like, I think that's the other issue that a lot of people have when it comes to beauty and makeup trends is that like, not only do they roll this out, but they also do not have the people that it's supposed to be celebrating as part of the marketing at all. So if you're telling me that you are celebrating Indigenous people's culture, and Indigenous is quite a large term because that doesn't just apply in the US, that can also apply to Australia and New Zealand and all of that. So if you're saying that it's supposed to celebrate Indigenous cultures, like why are they not in the ad? Like why are they not in the ad being like, we're really
ever in the process. They're not in the ad. They're not, paid for their work. Like just literally taking.
Yeah. Ooh, Allie just hit another point that I actually do want to leave in 2020, which is Coachella. Now I know people will say it's not a makeup or a beauty trend, but it kind of is because all the people in the community show up.
We can talk about whatever we want. It's our channel. It's your channel. It's our life.
Here is the thing. I wanted to go to Coachella so bad because I wanted to do Las Drogas, because I wanted to have one last fling. Listen, I know I'm old, but I'm not dead. So I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to enhance my mind.
I've always wanted to go to one of those like outdoor multi-day music festivals for all of the things that you're saying, to be honest.
Yeah. But then you know what happened? Everybody's videos on why Coachella are awful. I was just like, I figured it would be because it got nonsensy.
Well, the thing that I knew is that it's only fun if you're rich, which is very common for things. So it's like, yes, if I was a creator and a brand was like, here's the Coachella house, you get travel to and from the, you know, sorry, I almost dropped some shit. To and from blah, 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 then yes, worth it perhaps. But a solo person just like fucking out in the desert for however many days it is, like, no. Like, I don't want to not shower for multiple days unless it's depression, and that's my life. I don't want
the thing. I don't want to not shower.
Option of showering taken away from me.
Because I feel like, did Hannah tell a story about Coachella? Was she at Coachella or was she at another?
No, I think she's outdoor other music festival.
Yeah. So, because here's the thing. First of all, I don't want to see YouTube. Like, I'm already too weird. Okay. I'm already too weird. I'm already like, I already get nervous and get flop sweat and like nervous goat farts. Like, this is fact. I already get nervous and stressed upon meeting people. So I don't want to go to some event where bunches of YouTubers are wanting to like see and be seen, because that would make me feel very uncomfortable if like I saw someone and I was excited to see them and they were like, oh no, this is for the views and you don't get them. You know what I mean? I'd feel so awkward. I would just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just such a loser. Like I couldn't take that. I like, Lori, I do not camp.
I would just want to go with friends. Like, that's why I'm like, I would love to go to a music festival with some friends, but in a slightly more luxurious way. Like, I'm not a camper. Like, it's one of those dream things where I'm like, I would love that, to have like a smaller festival, because also too many people, too much music I enjoy, friends I enjoy, and just like not even worry about the other people in the space. But like, that's not possible. So I just want, Coachella in particular, I just want it to go away. Like, it just needs to be done.
Yeah. Amber, I've camped in my life.
Yeah, I camped
enough data to know I need to be in a decent hotel or my own home. I just can't do it. I'm so sorry, y'all, but like, I can't camp. It is not in my soul. It's not in my heart. I can't do it. Also, I watch enough horror films to know that the woods are not the place for me. Like, there's going to be a murderer or like a deadly creature, and I want to live, or a deadly disease like cabin in the woods. I want to live, and I don't want my skin to peel off. Like, that's all I'm asking for. And I don't want to be dirty, and I don't want my armpits to smell. I don't like it when I'm smelly. I just get very stressed out when I smell like onions. And I know that seems, but like, I can smell it. I can smell my oniony self. Okay.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what that seems, Audra. It's your life and your kiddo. Don't apologize for it. Like, we're literally ranting with camping. Like, it's all relevant. Also, my friend did describe to me once, glamping. Like, she actually was in a situation where it ended up being glamping, like having like basically an indoor space, but just in the woods, where you have a fire pit, you have all of this. And I was like, that I might be willing to do. I still hate the woods and would never want to do like outdoorsy dark. Like, story, I'll tell you, like, I don't want to put all of her info out, but she was catering and they were shooting a horror film. And so she told me a couple of stories about just having to be silent in the woods in the dark for like minutes because she couldn't interrupt a scene. And I was like, I know you were glamping, but nope to the nope to the nope to that.
Nobody can actually use listen, okay. Here's a good thing about 2020. Night, Alex. Here's a good
Also,
thing
this
about
is
2020 that I want to keep
some
going is
more.
wearing masks. I want to keep that going into 2021 because porta
Yes.
potties, if you get into situations where we're out and about again, so when we're out and about again, I like that is where a mask comes into play. But to be honest, I can't really use a porta potty either. It's very disturbing. It's really it. I would feel better if they just removed the pleasantries of it being a toilet and just made it a hole. I know that sounds terrible, but like just make it the hole. Because here's the problem: you're trying to make this like this porta potty, like you're trying to make it seem like it's a bathroom, but it's not a bathroom, and everyone knows it, and nobody's sitting on the seat, and nobody's doing any of the things. It's just a nightmare of like sadness, confusion, and like weird drugs in places that you didn't expect to be there, and just the smell of poop and urine. We didn't want this for our lives, and I am so sorry that was so graphic. But this is why I'm just saying, like, just put a hole, just like have the door.
Wait,
have the door.
I mean,
Just
the
put a
hole seems like
hole in
it's
the
on the
ground.
floor. You have to squat. Not all of us can squat, okay?
You don't actually have to squat. You just have to lift and kind of lean.
Not
I
everyone's
can't
body
squat.
leans and lifts very. Gravity works different on different bodies, is all I want to say.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out a way for it to not be the nightmare that it currently is now. Because it is just.
It only took us 36 minutes for Legata. I just have to say, I wish my body could not, like, I don't have the control to just be like, I'm not going to use a porta potty. If I'm stuck in a situation where I have to, it has to happen. Some people are like, oh no, I could hold for like 8 hours. And I'm like, that's great. That's not my life.
No, like, here's the thing. As long as I don't think about it, I'm good.
Ooh.
But the minute I think about it, I'm like, oh no. But here's the thing. I've been in like a regular bar bathroom, you know, back in 2019.
Yes.
When I went to bars. There was this thing, for some of you that don't know, there was this thing in 2019 where you went into places, right? And you like were just like right the fuck next to people. It was crazy. Girls would like hang out together in the bathroom and be like, oh my God, you're so pretty. You're so pretty.
Now
This
you're
was
just taunting everyone watching. We all remember it. We're all wistfully like wanting it back. You're just taunting them. Like, I don't know if you remember.
Don't you remember? I'm the resident old bitch of YouTube.
Every day of my life.
I assume that not everyone was here when the earth was made like me. So
we don't have 1-year-olds in the chat. Otherwise, I'd be
do you have another beauty trend that you would like to leave behind?
Can we leave behind basically, I'm gonna say at least 75% of face masks because they're useless. Sheet masks, those terrible peel off hell masks. I particularly hate sheet masks because I hate clammy, cold, like that idea. Like, I used to wear them and then something happened and I was like, why? But so many face masks are just the worst.
Yeah, I mean, so, and I'll hit that play anyway. I'm going to remember that sex and food theme makeup for next. So here's the problem. I do not, we'll just make it a broad statement. Leave behind single-use skincare products. Like, can we please stop having, like, I don't want any more wipes. Makeup wipes to keep coming out. Like, the ones we already have, like, we're going to use them. And I get that they have their purpose. And I'm not telling you that you can't use them. And it doesn't mean you're not environmentally friendly, because capitalism is a problem. And it's not up to us as individuals to actually try to fix the environment. That should be the corporations. But what I am going to say is they need to stop coming out with all these single-use products. I do not like sheet masks. The problem that I have with sheet masks is, one, like, you may as well just use the serum on your face. Just use it. Just get serum, put it directly on your face. Good time.
And you can put a lot of it
significantly
on.
Easier.
Like, don't touch your face for 15 minutes. Like, because it's the same thing.
And it's much easier because I don't know. Okay, this is a dramatic reenactment of getting a sheet mask. First, I must tear open the package, but not too crazily. Reach my fingers inside. Carefully pull it out, not too fast, not too slow. Is there product going everywhere? Yes, there is. Get a dinner plate out. Catch all the product. Roll out the mask. Does it go this way? Does it go that way? Unfold it. Slowly roll it on my face. It's the wrong way because the nose isn't facing right. Turn it around. Put it on my face. I think I got it now. It's too big for my eyes. It's okay. I will just see everything. And now it's too small for the rest of my face. And that is putting on a mask.
Sharon went right. I was like, if y'all don't like the stream after that, well, that's what you paid admission for. Oh,
I don't know what's wrong with y'all.
And I don't know. I had like zero energy. Like, willy-nilly, like slap it on, and then I'm like shifting it around, like, oh, here's the
like I literally had no energy before I started this stream. I was in a bad mood.
Yeah, I could tell.
Like poor Emily is like,
and I got it, and you're like, you ready to go live? And I was like, oh, let me breathe. Like I know I was ready, but like, let me breathe. We're a little bit burnt out from our December plans. I'm just gonna say a little bit.
That was my hit single, Sheet Mask.
Yes. Exactly. That was pure amazingness. But yeah.
Everybody who's new to my channel, this is a regular occurrence of me being very weird, and I will not ever be normal.
Yes, you are a treasure. But I do think that outside of makeup wipes, because I understand from a disability perspective that they really are necessary, I personally can't think of other single-use skincare that satisfies that same kind of it satisfying a certain disability need. Because like I said, with face masks, the serums that you have, even like a $10 ordinary serum or something, like an expensive one, is doing the same thing. A thick layer of a moisturizer is doing what these single-use pod like sleeping masks are. Most sleeping masks, from my experience, are just a thick layer of a moisturizer. There's different textures, there's different formulas, but I just feel like so many of these single-use items don't need to be single-use. So yeah.
And also dexterity wise, sheet masks are a nightmare. Like every time I've tried to use them, I'm just sitting here like, and this was before I had nails, y'all. Like I'm just literally like trying to roll the thing, and I'm like, and then they tried to make the ones where they're like, oh, well, if you peel off this like mesh part, and then you put this on your face, and then you peel off the other mesh part. And I was like, that's even more difficult. But nobody should feel ashamed if you are drowning in sheet masks, because many of us had beauty boxes and they sent those en masse. Like you did not get one beauty box without 2 to 3 sheet masks in it. So don't be ashamed.
Also, if anything we talk about leaving behind you like, this is not an attack on you. This is not a shame to you.
Yes.
Like I also see people that like sheet masks. That's cool. That's
Love
fine.
them.
We just don't. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I just want to leave it behind because I feel like we've moved into a realm where we have serums now. And I think that back in the day when they first came out, serums were not as actively used by all of us, like by us plebeians down here. And now that it is, and we have K-Beauty, it's like that really ushered in, hey, we have affordable serums. Yeah. We good. So what was it? Food theme palettes. Play MUA.
Particular food theme palettes with like weird palette shapes. That's the thing I want to leave behind. Like food. Okay, I'm biased because I do like my ice cream palette that I keep reaching for. I do like this palette, but also it's a rectangle, which is why I bought it. I hate the weird shaped food themed palettes myself.
Yes.
But go ahead.
No, I agree. Because it was the same thing we had with Jeffrey Snorkelfish, Jalopity Staircase's palettes, is that a lot of them are very oddly shaped. Where do you put them? It's not even just food theme. I literally want like all weird shaped palettes to I want them to stop. I want them to stop it because I have to think about storing my makeup just like everybody else. We're all people. We're all people here. And when they introduced to me like, this palette is shaped like a casket and it's just as big. And I'm like, no, ma'am, no, sir, no, they, no way. There's no need for this. This is extensive. Where am I going to put it? Where am I going to put it? And like, that's the same issue I even ran into with my Storybook Cosmetics one. I was just like, even if I store it, I never use it because I've stored it basically. Like I found a place to put it that's not in the way and doesn't mess up all of my drawers. But because I've done that, it becomes like a palette I don't use. Like I'll walk by it and be like, oh yeah, you. And then I'll pull it out one time and be like, I didn't use this. And then I put it back and then I never use it again.
Yeah. A couple people in the chat mentioned like savory food and also photorealistic food. And I agree with that because I think there's something weird about like photorealistic food in particular. Even sweet stuff, I can see that being like kind of gross, but like savory food, I also think is where I'm like, I don't really want a street taco palette. Like I feel like street taco would make me giggle, so I'm glad I achieved that.
Like because I eat street tacos often, and I mean like
and they're
actual
delicious.
Street tacos. I'm in Texas, like I eat like
I'm in Brooklyn. I eat street tacos probably at least once a week, if not.
Thank you. So like, so I was just thinking to myself like, like why would you have a palette?
And I do think if they made them magnetic so that you could just pop out the shadows, because I've said this before, I'm a clown. I bought the burger palette like
Sabrina
on sale. Good night, Sabrina. Because I'm going to depot it because the colors are really pretty and I wanted to try the formulas. But if it was just magnetic, then people could have their weird packaging if they wanted. And if they don't, you have the shadows and the formula. And you can sit there and be like, yeah, I like Glamlight's formula, but I don't want this or I don't want that.
Yeah.
But and also,
Carly, I would say a good chunk of it is, yes, you're paying for that packaging. And the reason, here's the thing, if you're ever trying to figure out, am I paying for the packaging or am I paying for the shade? What I would say is once you start hanging out in the world of singles more often, you start realizing how much packaging you're actually paying for. Even with like really fantastic, also I put in an order from Cleona. I don't want to hear it. But anyway,
I mean, I'm happy when Audra orders from any indie brand. Sorry, that was brain glitch. What?
Bo was dreaming. Do you hear him?
Yes.
It's okay, baby. Are you good?
Yes.
Okay, so sorry, y'all. Like my baby boy when he dreams.
Sorry.
See, yeah, that's why do we get the same thing, Deja? Because I'm a carnitas girl. Like carnitas, yes, that is my favorite.
Al pastor is my favorite, but carnitas is usually second. If they don't have al pastor, I get carnitas because that pineapple.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
Yes. Okay. Shadowless. That is something that I do want to leave behind in 2020. Let us stop having sexual themed things. I'm not making fun of anybody with a lisp. I am simply trying to remain monetized. So here's what I'm going to say.
I feel like makeup mix.
Yes. Go ahead.
Like, I don't know. That's I just like that's the best way to put it. Whether it's group sex like Jebediah Snorkelfish or a mask that looks like a blah job, a glitter job. Like my brain can't even. I'm just like, I'm so tired of it because we've said this a million times. No mascara is better than sex. No blush is better than an
Yes.
orgasm. I guess I didn't say better than an orgasm, but like,
Yeah. It
I don't
can't
want
be.
sex in my makeup. I just don't want it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I am not a prude. I
Same.
will, like, honestly, when I get to have, when January comes back and we're back to doing our podcast, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm able to do more and more of my like Spooky Bay Patreon hangouts. I don't like, there's not a lot that I won't talk about. And it doesn't bother me. And it like, I don't even get embarrassed. Like last night when I was talking about the hardwood floor situation, but like, didn't even bother me. Doesn't stress me out in the least. But when it comes to my makeup, I just don't feel like I need my makeup to be sexualized for me to like it more. I think that gets weird. Like to me, I'm just like, I just want to put my makeup on. I just want to have fun. And like when especially here's the thing that people don't think about either. Like because I do YouTube, right? I might buy something to try. And now I have to be like, let me put shade glass on.
And this goes to what Alexis said. I don't mind the sex names until someone asks me what I'm wearing. But here's the thing is I don't ever want to be ashamed to say what's on my face or what kind of makeup I love. And the names, like I don't feel sexual shame. Like that also should go away in 2020. But the names just make it fucking weird because then they're like, wow, you decided to buy a blush or a lip gloss called Sucking Lips. Like, no.
Yes. It makes you because here's the thing. I love makeup. Emily loves makeup. Many of you here in the chat love a makeup. But it is weird for you when someone's like, oh my God, that blush is gorgeous. What is it? And you're like, orgasm. Orgasm. What? Orgasm. Like it makes you feel really uncomfortable because you like the shade. You like the shade. The shade is beautiful, but it makes you feel weird in a normal setting, in a normal, regular people setting where you have to just be like, orgasm. Because I feel like we're starting to enter a level of where it's going to be like, this is shade net sack, and that, like, I just don't want to do that. Like I don't want to be going down that road. I feel like, can we just have a shade? Like you can call it fun stuff, but it doesn't have to be sexualized.
Also, there's a comment in the I was just checking something. Okay. So there's a comment about wait, what? What are you
I literally spit. I just spit on my laptop from seeing that. Like I just spit on my laptop.
If you're not, is the NARS has a lipstick called Fire down below. And this ties to, Superbot says, it's interesting because many of the most sexualized brands are women-led because it seems like stuff men would come up for women. But here's the thing. NARS was started by Francois NARS, who I believe is a man. Too Faced is Jared Blandino. So I don't know what other brands you're referencing. I mean, I know there's Charlotte Tilbury, but like, to me, the top two offenders in this are NARS and Too Faced, and they are run by, to my knowledge, men. I'm saying like making an assumption.
We do have to reframe that one because men may own it, but they may not necessarily be the ones like doing the marketing and all that stuff. They may be.
Well, they're the founder, though.
Women led.
So like I think of founders as like somebody who sets the tone of the company, and they might sell it off, but like. You created this. Too Faced created.
I'm just looking at like how they put it as brands are women led. So I kind of see what they were saying. Like it's just weird. I just think it's weird all around.
Women are tools of the patriarchy until they stop being one. I mean, women are tools in the system no matter what, because you have to pay your bills. It's fucked up and it doesn't excuse them. But
Liz, I managed to keep a chunk of it. Like, so a small spray, and I'm gonna have to like get the rest of it. It wasn't horrible. It was just like a small spray of juice spittle.
And that's
things
fair
went
too.
a little.
The
Yes,
creative director.
that's what I'm.
Okay.
That's kind of what I figured. So I just don't understand why it has to be.
So Playpay Emilia said women who wear makeup are more sexual and don't mind a little fun. But I also, I don't know. I just think that it's just frustrating that that's what we have. I think it's frustrating when sex is used as a marketing tool. That's what.
Yes, because listen, this is why I don't have any problem with beige Betties. Because first of all, I once was a beige Betty, and second, beige Betties, if you didn't know, they got secrets. They doing the most. They may be beige on the outside, but inside they're caca. So just know that. Just know that that's a real thing. Like. But I do wish that they would stop
having any kind of sexual behaviors and fantasies, no matter what you look like from the outside.
Yes, but I'm just saying, them beige Betties be like hiding secrets. From what I've discovered, back in 2019, when we could go to bars, making out with beige Betties, like I live that kind of life. I'm like, hi, beige Betty, how you doing? I'm good. Do you like the Catholic girl? No? Okay, that's fine. I don't either. It's so gross. It's so gross. It's so gross. I don't either. Unless you want to kiss. No, you don't? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. No. Okay. And now we're kissing. That is that is.
Oh, wait. I mean, being I'm going to say being secretly bisexual is pretty tame in the rankings. I'm just going to say.
No, they're not secretly bisexual. They just didn't want to like make out in public until they like wanted
But I mean, like, they're not out there with their man. They're by themselves or with their friends.
Mm-hmm.
But their partner is not aware of their sexuality. That's what I'm saying.
They didn't have a partner, girl. I don't be like messing with partnered up girls.
Oh. So when I hear beige Betty,
Okay, I'm done.
Beige Betty to me feels like you're married, you wear very beige makeup, you probably have kids. Like that's what I think of when I think of beige Betties, who also partake in what we would assume is pretty vanilla sex. But what it sounds like is that you just mean people that seem like they partake in vanilla sex.
Yes, I'm talking about just like the makeup style where it's like, I'm beige, because I did that. I was like, look at me, I'm beige.
I took it further because when you say beige Betty, I was like, oh yeah. But also this, JD says Urban Decay had a brown eyeshadow called Backdoor. Ooh. I got so grossed out when my innocent self found out what the implication there was. Yeah. And then again, Urban Decay also had issues with naming shades after substances.
True.
And that's the other thing is that, like, okay, so many of these brands that are like trying to be edgy, you're sold in Sephora, you're sold in Ulta, Urban Decay, Too Faced, NARS, Charlotte Tilbury, Huda. Like, Urban Decay had a certain perspective, I feel like, back in the 90s and early 2000s. And then they turned into beige Betty brand, and so that's when I'm like, no, this whole like we're edgy, we're whatever, like, no, you've lost that, you've lost those rights. You gotta turn in the edgy card and rename all your shit.
Well, and here's the thing, I get why these brands have gone the way that they have gone. Like, I feel like sometimes people don't realize it, but it's like the people who own it grew up. Like when they started it, they were edgy, and the people who own it have grown up. So they're very like, you know, like they've changed their lives. They've become
or
more.
They've sold their company.
That's true.
They're not part of it.
That's true. What's so edgy?
I love what Isabel said. Want to adorn your face with crushed minerals? You naughty, bad lady girl pervert. Have the sexy, disgusting, slutty, shiny product. Wink, wink, wink. I hate it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Because it was very much like, for those of y'all who aren't of a certain age, there was this time in the 90s of marketing where we marketed very much like, do you do a lot of drugs? Do you have a problem? And it was very much just like everybody looking like, I'm vacant and sad because I have an addiction. Like, and I'm not making fun of addiction. I am telling you That was the 90s. There were girls in music videos. Go back, look at the music video for Torn. Look at Fiona Apple's Criminal. Very skinny women crawling around in dirty areas, looking tired. That was a whole aesthetic. It was weird. It was a weird time. And like, yes, having the
I love it.
is not a personality trait.
I love
so
that.
I just want beauty and makeup to stop pushing that into my makeup. I feel very confident that you could come up with something else that would be fun and innovative and exciting, but also like not embarrassing. Yes, Bobby Calvin Klein. Yes, like the Kate Moss days. Like, y'all do not understand. She was everywhere, yes. And they were always like, and they were always like in weird, impossible like positions, and nobody knew why. Like, somebody stuffed them into a pipe, but like that's what was going on. They were just like squished and weird, and you were like, "Girl, are you okay?" She's like, "I'm already torn." I'm like, "Okay." So like,
I love what you're saying. The messaging is sex is bad, but also tied inextricably to your worth, and you are a big whore for wearing it, but also wear ours. Like that, yes. Like sums up a lot of my like weird feelings about sex and using sex as a marketing tactic. Because in this country in particular, we still have a lot of puritanical like core beliefs, a lot of people about sex and how you're worth more if you don't have it as much, the virginity, all of that stuff. You should subscribe to our podcast if you want to hear us talk about that more. Just saying, self promo time. But at the same time, so it's like, oh, don't do it. You're a terrible human if you do it too much. But also, you should buy our products that talk all about orgasms and blowjobs. Like,
yeah, and it's weird because it does make people feel a certain way where they feel very like I'm dangerous, and I'm just here's the thing: I want people to feel empowered and feel sexy and feel dangerous without having to have makeup that is sexually suggestive. There we go. Like, I want you to feel very powerful, and I want you to feel amazing, and I want you to feel sexy, but I don't want you to have it come from like wearing something that is called Better Than Sex mascara. That's all. I can't just
you don't want to feel sexy. You don't have to feel sexy as well. Like, sexy isn't something you owe to the world. You don't owe people sexy. You don't owe people attractive. You don't owe people cute.
Yeah.
You just owe the world yourself. And whatever that is, I hope you can be that. Yeah.
Ooh, my last trend, like one of my last like beauty makeup trends that I want to leave in 2020 pertains specifically to YouTube. And I talked a little bit about this on Jen's channel. I would like commenting on people's appearance to just leave it behind. Just leave it behind. If you feel the urge to tell someone that their wings aren't uneven, have a cookie instead. If you feel the urge to tell someone that their skin is bad, put your finger in your mouth. If you feel the urge to tell someone that they should talk to skincare expert so-and-so, you know what? Just fart instead. Like, these are the things that you can do as opposed to saying something. The amount of times in my life that I have literally walked away, like I've watched people's content, I didn't like it. I've had people that I had been friends with or acquaintances with on YouTube, and we're not anymore, and that's fine. And you know what I did? I just silently left. There was not like a need to have a whole loud conversation about it. I just feel like if you cannot say something nice, unless you're trying to like positively correct a person in which they are saying something factually incorrect, just don't. Like, 2020 has been such a hard year, and you never know what people are going through. So it's just like, I always say this and I mean it. It literally costs no money to be kind. And if you can't be kind, you can just leave. Like, that's it.
Okay. We were having this conversation last night. I agree, and I want to go further. Not just specifically, do not comment on people's appearance. Do not comment on people's bodies. at all. I want that
Mm-hmm.
left in 2020. Don't comment
Mm-hmm.
on if they look better today, because that can plant the seed of, oh, so I look like shit, or you look tired, or are you okay? Like your looks being tied to, are you okay, are you not? You've lost weight, you've gained weight, you look good in that out. Like, commenting on appearance, on body, on hair, on skin, all of it is so laden with toxic emotions. And your intent when you comment, if you see somebody and you're like, oh, you've lost weight, or oh, you look like, you look like you filled in or something, like, you might be thinking that's a compliment, but that is all tied up into fat phobia, and it's all toxic. And I am
Yeah.
very much tired of your intent was good, your impact can be bad. And so there are a million ways to compliment a person without commenting on their appearance in a way, on a thing that they actually can't change. You're commenting on someone's skin, you commenting on someone's weight, you commenting on someone's hair. Yes, marketing tells us that we can change all that. But guess what? A lot of that we just can't. It's genetics. So yes, skincare can help your skin, but like, if you have certain texture, certain acne, skincare can't always change that. If your hair looks a certain way, shampoo isn't just going to magically change that. Or we don't
Yeah.
have the monetary access to buy the things that would change. So just like, stop commenting on people's bodies, appearance, period. If you need
Yeah.
ways to compliment people without commenting about their body, Google exists. I promise that the first search results are going to be helpful. Like, there
When
are so
Alexis had
many
a
ways
really
to
good
compliment.
one. Compliment choices, not
Yeah,
bodies. I like the color of that shirt, not you look good in that shirt.
exactly.
Because I will be completely honest. I am generally a small person, which most people cannot see because I tend to be quite covered a lot of times. And so it is unnerving when I see myself in video in like tank tops, because I'm like, oh my God, my bird shoulders, it's freaking me out. So if somebody tells me I'm losing weight, like I freak out. But
Yeah.
no, also, Belle, I'm trying to say this correctly. I'm just going to say Kristen. Belle
Oh,
Memory,
Belle Mori.
aka Kristen. Belle
Yeah.
Mori. I can't read, but like it says memory. That hurts my feelings. Anyway, I
Belle
mentioned,
Memory.
yeah,
Oh
I would
no, you're right.
also, that is, drop some of the things that you would like to see happen for 2021. Before
Yeah.
we leave, we got like 15 more minutes. Start saying like things you want to see happen. I also want to see that as well, that those of us are 40 plus, we need to be seen too, because here's the thing. Right now, like, the reality of the situation is this: we all exist. We are a market of people, and we don't all like, no affront, again, no affront to beige or basic or anything like that. What I'm saying is, all of us don't necessarily, I don't want to fade into the background and wear like a very specific like beigey, like, I am not Michelle Gong. Michelle is like classy, okay? I'm not a classy bitch. And so like I'm not, nor will I ever be a classy bitch. And doors will not open for me like that. That is okay. But like, I want to be bright and colorful, and I like it. It's a good time for me. And I'm going to be 41 in 2021. So I would love to see more representation.
Sorry, I
Yes.
love Isabel's spin on this. I will accept all absurdist body compliments. For example, your physical being is like the shiniest spaceship today, but otherwise, no. Okay, I like
Thank
in
you.
putting that into the universe. Like, you can
Yes, I like that.
say you look like the most magical mermaid today. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll take that. But no, no weight, no body, no, yeah.
No, if you tell
Exactly.
me I look like the most exotic of birds today, I'm just gonna like,
Exactly.
ah.
And I agree with JD. This actually goes to one of the things that was brought up in the chat of wanting to leave behind. So JD said, leave behind
Ooh,
center whiteness and makeup launches marketing, just some wishful thinking. Also leave
yes,
behind like beige eyeshadows in every single eye palette. I think Day mentioned
yes.
that. Like, yes.
Well, the
Um,
reason that bothers me is because I feel like anyone in this chat, there's 130 people in here right now. Every single one of us have a beigey transition shade in several palettes. Please stop doing it. You're wasting our money. Like, you're wasting our money. Ooh,
Happy early
Bethany, I didn't know
birthday,
your birthday was
Bethany.
tomorrow. Happy early birthday, in case like I hide and do the thing that I do when I recover from.
Also, this full
Yes.
representation of BIPOC disabilities, variety of ages, just real damn people. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, Siobhan, I think the thing is, it's very much in how you let people, like, if you tell people, like, I want you to say something or whatever, that is good. But I think, especially here, I'm not sure how it is everywhere else. I know in America, it can be very, very stressful because there's a lot of different things tied into it. So if you're like made it explicit, like, I will definitely let you know that you have lost the weight.
Yeah. It's like the one-off thing rather than the normalized thing. And I think I'm always in this mindset of trying to retrain the general perspective on how we talk about each other. So that's where that comes from. Yes.
Yes. Squirrel and Jay, the end of the use of Photoshop. I want to see texture, wrinkles, and a pimple. And this is a thing. So here's a fun fact. Like, I know I do, like, the one thing I do use is like the blur background, which can sometimes do like some things to my face and skin. I just try not to use like actual editing or filters as far as I am like specifically aware that I'm using a filter. I know that I am doing the background blur, which can make me look a little bit better. I got that. But I really don't, it's not even the end of Photoshop. I don't mind if you Photoshop. I want more people to say that they are using Photoshop. I want more people to say that they've done this with the lighting, that they smoothed out this, because we talked about this a while ago, and I will never stop talking about it because listen, I have on a glittery highlighter right now, and it's this one. And until I got the right brush, I didn't know how much I loved glittery highlighters. And then I began to realize, like, it wasn't just application, it was also understanding that people had smoothing filters on. So you couldn't tell that there's texture and it's not going to be completely smooth in a photo. So it's just like, if people could just start being more transparent with that, that would be great.
Yes, because this is also part. Jump. This is part of the problem is that Photoshop videos are used to market products. Because even if you're not being like, this is a sponsored video or a sponsored post for Nomad Cosmetics, this is not. Just clarifying, Audra's not sponsored to mention the highlighter. But even if you're not saying this is a sponsored post, if you're using it in a video or if you're putting it on in a photo and you have this blurring thing on and you are a creator, you are an influencer, you are selling it. Whether or not you think you are, whether or not it's a sponsored post, by you using that blurring tool and turning a glittery highlighter into something that just looks like a shiny wet beacon on your face, you are lying in your marketing, and your affiliate code or your affiliate link is going to get used more because people are like, oh shit, that looks so good, I want to go buy that. And especially if you're not the kind of person that's going to go explore, like for me, I'll go look in hashtags or look at people, like, so that I can see other photos of the same product or other videos, like that's where I might see, oh, it does show more texture because I find random people using it who aren't blurring their face, or I see it in a video where there's not a soft blur on. But if you're just the kind of person that's not going to be this like nerdy research person like I am, you might just buy it because so-and-so said that they loved it. Hey, Rami. Oh, we wore it for you because Audra's wearing purple too. Look at that. But yeah, so I just think that that's the thing, is that like, I don't mind Photoshop. I don't mind filters. I know some of the weird filters on Instagram, I still enjoy them. I
enjoy
make my lips
them.
look bigger, put freckles on me, blur me out a little, but also you're going to see in the top right corner that there's a filter on.
Thank you.
I'm not going to like,
I'm using a filter.
Download it and then re-upload it without the filter tag on there. Like, that's the part where I'm like, that gets fucking weird. So
because like
play
here's
around
the thing. I'm not gonna lie, if I've just woken up in the morning and I want to talk to y'all and like my bags are like super deep because I'm a 40-year-old woman. I'm going to put a filter on my face. Not because I'm like, but because I'm just like, you know what? I want to say hello, but I also do not want everybody talking to my luggage. Like, that's where I am. Like, I don't want everybody talking to my luggage this morning. I just want to say hello. So I like slap on a little filter, be like, hi, hi, hi. I just think that more.
And I think it's fun.
Yeah, and it is fun. I like
it's fun.
Like, because my that like, listen, y'all blew up my spot on one of my reels where I did like the Billie Eilish song. Y'all blew up my spot. I was not prepped for that. Because like it's just me and my bare face looking like raggedy like I normally do in everyday life, and then it's just like, get my pretty name out of your mouth. Y'all blew up my spot. I don't even know what to say.
Is the best. I'm sorry, I love Billie Eilish. I will unabashedly say, and that song, the whole mood, it's like made for reels. It's made for TikTok. Like Billie knew what they were doing when they made that song.
Yes.
But I agree.
And like, but that's the thing is you can clearly see that it's like, oh, this is like a filter around it because it's got like the ice around it, which I'm doing that ice filter a lot because it's winter, and also I live in Texas where there will be no ice until March.
So like ice, and I'm like, keep it away from me. No. But yeah,
I just don't think that. I think there's no problem with doing whatever you want, with doing whatever surgery you want. Everybody needs to feel comfortable with who the fuck they are. But I do think that it is important that we do have truth in advertising. And I would like to see in 2021 more creators willing to say, like, I use this, or I did that, or this did this. Like, so that people really know, okay. I think it helps. I think it helps with marketing. I think it helps. I know we're all adults, and I know that we're not stupid, but like, also there's a part of your mind that goes back to the picture that you saw of somebody wearing XYZ, and then you bought XYZ and it doesn't look the same on you, and you're like, oh, it just must be because I'm ugly. Like, that's what happens. Yeah. Hey, Beauty Jack, how you doing?
It's like, oh, I'm not as good at applying makeup as this person, or my skin isn't as nice, or all of this. Also, just because we are older and we've kind of figured out some of these things doesn't mean that other people that are younger and less, honestly, less developed don't see this stuff. And that's the thing is, even if you're making content for 30, like I'm 36, Audra's 40, we might not think our content is hitting younger people, but it still could. And we can also set a tone of being like, this is the filter I'm using, or this is what I did to achieve this photo or this reel. And then that can travel down to other people, because I don't think that we think about the fact that the internet is full of people at all ages. Kids are seeing this shit, and that is affecting everything: self-esteem, buying habits, plastic surgery, like all of that is getting affected. So yes, play around. Like, this is one of the things I love about makeup, and it's also why I do like playing around with filters. I love being able to play around with what I look like and how I perceive myself. And yes, is some of that done with a filter, which means it's completely fake? Sure. But Photoshop is fun. It can be fun, but I'm very aware that that is a filter, or that is a fake thing. Yes. I'm making fun of myself basically by putting these filters on. And I'm having a good time, but I know it's fake.
Yeah. I just feel like, what makes you happy, right? Because like, I was not expecting, because here's the thing. When I do my reels, I will choose specific filters that make the look pop more. And so I'm like, oh, that's the one that really makes the purples pop. Like, this makes purple pop. This makes green pop. This makes this pop. So I will use those filters when I'm like doing a look or whatever. I still look bad. Like, I'm still a bad bitch. But I really feel like, because one of the things I definitely want to stop is like people being really shitty towards someone for having fillers or whatever. Like, let's be real. The only reason we're shitty is because we can't afford it. So like, that's why we're being mad. Like, that's why we're being shitty. Like, bitch, fuck you and your fillers. But like, really, there's like Whitney Hedrick, I believe, has to like deal with this on the regular of people telling her like she needs to stop doing it, but she likes it. Whether you like it or not, doesn't matter. She enjoys it. Right. So it's like, and she's been open about it. She's like, I have lip filler and I like my lip filler. So I like that she does that because it makes her feel good and she enjoys doing that and it makes her happy and she is not afraid to tell people that that's what she's doing. Where I side eye, like Jennifer Lopez, people who sit there saying things like, I don't do Botox. But let's all remember that if you have a lot of money, it's very, very easy for you to have a shit ton of money and have access to facials and peels and things that the rest of us don't have access to. So
Yes.
I am leery that celebrity skincare is going to get really big in 2021. Because we're watching it happen 2020, Alicia Keys, Pharrell, Jennifer Lopez. I think Gwyneth Paltrow's jumping on, like we have a bunch of them jumping on this train.
The goofy bullshit for a while. My thing with the saying I don't have Botox, that might be true. That doesn't mean you don't have other procedures. You've just optionally told us you don't have Botox.
Thank you.
That's like saying I didn't eat corn for dinner. Okay, you still could have eaten 500 other ingredients. Like you don't have Botox in your face. You could still have 500 other procedures done. You could be using shit that a lot of us, I'm going to say normies, because that's, I say with love, but a lot of us normies have no idea exist because we're not looking into plastic surgery because we can't afford it. So we know
if
Botox,
I could afford it, listen,
but like,
don't get it twisted. If I could afford it, these deep circle filled, they would be filled. Boop.
Yeah.
Boop overnight. Just boop. That's when you all know. That is when y'all will know I have made it because these will not be deep anymore, and I'll be like, ha, 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 and I will be flexing so many stupid photos of like that.
Yeah, like I want to leave behind shaming plastic surgery and all of that in 20. Like I want to leave that in 2020, but I also would love more openness of like procedures or things done, because if we can stop the bullshit shaming, then being open and honest about what you've had done doesn't come with negative repercussions. And that's why I understand that people are secretive about it because they get shit about it. But if we can just let people do what they want to do and then not judge them for it. Because here's the thing is that shitty people that you're judging online have probably done a ton of terrible things beyond getting a boob job.
Yeah.
like
listen, I would never get a BBL because frankly, my frame could not handle a big ass. I'm going to be honest. Like my frame couldn't handle it. It would be uncomfortable to say the least. Not just for me, but for anybody who saw it. They'd just be like,
yeah.
Has anybody noticed that stick-like woman who has no titties and then a huge ass? It's just like, bow. Yeah, no, I can't.
Probably you're probably getting both.
No, because here's the thing: I like having small boobs. That's the thing. I like small boobs. I don't want mine.
Though that's a body shape. No boobs, big ass. Hello, you're looking at me right now.
That's true.
I have no boobs, and I have a lot of ass and a lot of thighs.
Listen, if I got them lifted, I would be like, can you lift them and also suck more out of them? Because every time my period comes, they get bigger. Like, I just want them to be smaller.
So if you're
I think that most of us, if we could afford it, would do it.
Your period would no longer bother you. If you were that rich that you were talking about a boob job, I feel like that would be the first thing.
Like, listen, nah, I'm like, listen, if I was that rich, it's like, it is a lift. And it is like a restructuring of the whole.
Yeah.
Like, did I just make like a pucking sound? What was that sound I made? Wait, I'm gonna. Okay, I just realized I could make that sound. Sorry, y'all. Like I knew I could make the sound. I just didn't realize I made the sound. ADHD does that to me.
I, again, appreciate what Isabel's saying. It's okay and understandable to hold complex, maybe conflicting opinions about beauty and aging and self-worth. We're brainwashed from birth, pals. It's a tough time unlearning and unpacking. Exactly. Like, I think that... I've always wanted just like a little bit more, but also mostly a lift because of my boob shape. But like I'm not mad about. It took a while. It took a while,
Yeah.
but like I'm not mad about. Wait, what's going on? I'm trying to approve someone's comment on YouTube and it's like, no, you cannot do that. Oh, okay. I don't know
Sorry,
what's
I can
going
hear
on.
the trash guys coming. So there's 130 of y'all here. I hope all of you thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it. And like if you didn't enjoy it, I guess thumbs down. But like also you could just like not say anything.
Also, you could just
But
like fuck off.
but I am going to go on ahead and prepare for the rest of my evening. I've got to wash off this face because I think that tomorrow I'm probably doing like I have a fun video coming up. I'm just going to warn you that this video is most likely coming up on Thursday, and I want to tell y'all that like after the intro, the first 5 minutes of it is just me laughing hysterically at myself trying to explain this thing. So just if you don't want to listen to that, like I understand.
I can't wait.
I literally
can't
try
wait.
to like put in a timestamp, like I stop laughing at myself here. So
I can't wait. We will be live on Thursday on my channel, and we might
yes,
have a
we
special
will.
guest. We probably will.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure. I just hadn't actually triple confirmed, but yes. So hopefully you'll be
Yeah,
there.
triple confirm.
It'll be chill. Nothing really planned. But I hope that if anybody is home and wants to hang out and is feeling any kind of feelings about the holidays and the year and everything, will be here. It'll be a space for love and like honestly just like
Yeah.
good energy. And I know that sounds like whatever, but that's the kind of mood I'm in lately. Like only positive energy. I mean, shit happens, but I'm trying to bring as much positive energy into 2021 as I can
Love,
from
light, and
this
blessed be, man.
pessimistic, like little bitter bitch over here.
Yeah, it's
And
all
if you're
love,
not,
light, and blessed be. We want everybody to have a nice, wonderful, safe space. We will be live on Emily's channel on Thursday. There's also more than likely going to be a New Year's Eve extravaganza.
yes, that's happening for damn sure. Even if you're not here, I'll be here.
Yes, and potentially I may be going live solo stilo. Ooh, I do have, guess what? Guess what, y'all? Fun fact. Let me go look at my calendar because I have information for you. Fun fact,
Oh
because
yeah,
my goofy self actually has tomorrow is Wednesday. And you know what Wednesday has? I have a live with Bad to the Brow, y'all. Millie.
hey,
We're going to talk about our 5 best and worst products. That's tomorrow at
nice.
a time. I think it's 5 or 4. Listen, I'll
Also,
have it up tomorrow.
the Thursday stream will be same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, basically T might be here on Thursday, and then we're gonna
And then
chill
there's gonna be like an
afterwards.
after
Okay.
party.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
and then also I want to say Christmas Day, there's going to be a really big fun video that's going to go up on my channel. I might do a premiere for it. I have to figure myself out, but I know Grinchmas has been a lot of content. Gothmas has been a lot. Everything has been a lot, but I hope y'all will keep your eyes out for that on Christmas Day. I have a present for y'all.
All right, y'all.
Okay.
You know what I'm about to say. It costs $0 to be kind. It is so good for your soul because if you don't, Krampus is sure as hell coming for yours. All right, y'all. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I love each and every one of you. XOXO. Gothic girl.